Hi there, I'm Scott.
And I'm Caitlin. Welcome to Poly Live, giving you an all-access pass to Cal Poly. Thanks for tuning in live, or if you're watching our archived episodes.
A live access pass to Cal Poly. What a service, Caitlin. We're just great people. So we are coming at you live from the Dexter Art Gallery, and I'd like to take a chance to introduce our moderators. Today we have Michael and Claire. We'll be answering your questions live, or we will be answering your questions live. So just remember that you can go ahead and type in the box and ask us questions if you feel like you want to during the show. You can also ask questions to orientation@calpoly.edu. I'd also like to help you optimize that video screen so that we can look all big and bright across your screen. So go ahead and click View, Layout, Wide Layout, and then also if you want to click on the grayscale little drop menu and change that to fine color, then we should be looking pretty nice for you. Also, there's no need to raise your hand if you have a question because we probably won't see you, but there is a hand on the bottom of the guest list and we might ask you to raise your hand in that case. Okay.
Awesome. So we have a great show planned out for you today. We have several guests for you. We have Katie Morrow, which is our Cal Poly president of ASI. I'm a little bit nervous.
Why?
Because she's the president.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I didn't wear my
I'm a little
fancy
bit
pants
nervous.
today.
Like, this is a big deal. We also have Haley Houle, who's the chair of the University Union Advisory Board from ASI. And then we have Nona Nickelson from the parent program here at Cal Poly, as well as an actual Cal Poly parent that you get to hear from, Alberto Alberti, coming and answering all of your questions.
That's right. Sounds like a great show for all of you out there. Also, I'd like to point out that all that optimized video stuff, if you're watching the archive video, it does not apply to you. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean that I don't love you. It just means that it already looks awesome for you. So we're going to go ahead and cut to a commercial. This is going to be a commercial about UPD, and we'll see you soon.
But before that, I want you to raise your hand if in high school you had ASB or some type of student government at your school. We'll see you after the break.
My name is Chad Riley. I'm a police officer with the University of Cal Poly. We try to ensure a safe learning environment for the students, faculty, and staff. We have a lot of resources that a lot of students don't know about, from fingerprinting, if you have a fingerprint that needs to be taken for any jobs that you might have here on campus or off campus. We have an escort van that runs after hours or after evening time. That's free also. We have a rideshare program and commuter access services. We also have ride-along programs. If you'd like to see what police officers do during the weekend, you can do a ride-along. We do ticket sign-offs, so if you have a fix-it ticket, like a light out in your car or window tinting, you can bring that back here and we'll sign it off for you once it's taken care of. I hope students will take away the understanding that you can contact the police department just about for any reason that you feel fit. If you have any safety concern whatsoever, don't be afraid to call the police department. We're not here just for emergencies.
Welcome back from the break. Before the break, I asked if any of you had ASB or some type of student government at your high school, and 3 of you raised your hand, which is awesome, because we are going to be interviewing some lovely ladies from our student government here at Cal Poly. You just saw a great video from the University Police Department. That was Officer Chad. He's awesome. I actually ran into him the other night at Frozen Yogurt.
Oh yeah, where'd you go?
My favorite place is Yogurt Creations, otherwise known here as Yo-Cray. So if you hear people talking about Yo-Cray, that's what they mean.
I should probably fill you in. There's some heated discussions about the best frozen yogurt place at Cal Poly and in San Luis Obispo. I myself am quite partial to T-Berry. What about you two?
I have to admit, I always go Baldi's.
Volleys, okay. Volleys is a thing of the past, but okay.
Keep it traditional.
Yeah, no, staying true to it. Let's hear it.
I jump from tea berry to yogurt creation depending on the flavors.
Okay, that's fair.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to jump right into this. We'll have you introduce yourselves and what you do for ASI first.
Go ahead.
Well, my name is Katie Morrow. I'm a fourth-year social sciences student, and I'm the ASI president.
And my name is Haley Houle, and I am a fourth year. Wow, I cannot believe we're already in our fourth year. Sociology major with a minor in women and gender studies, and I am the chair of the University Union Advisory Board.
That's fantastic. Okay, so what is ASI?
So
That's a pretty big question, but
yeah, ASI is a huge auxiliary organization that every student is a member of, whether they know it or not, just by being a Cal Poly Mustang. And what ASI tries to do is be the connection to the ultimate college experience in all sorts of ways.
So how would that differentiate between ASB and high school?
So it's super different than ASB in high school. We get a lot of the same people because you have to be like kind of spunky and love the school you go to and just excited to be involved. So it tends to bring in the same type of people. But ASI is different because we have different programs and services, and then we also have facilities that we operate. So it's more of like a governing body that can oversee all of these different things that we have. And it's huge, and it has all of these entities across campus and different ways for people to be involved and take part in it.
awesome. Okay, so you keep talking about these programs. So what type of programs do you have?
So we have a huge range of things. We have things like Poly Escapes, which is kind of our outdoorsy entities, and they take people on trips. And then we have the Craft Center, which is in the University Union, and you can go and take a ceramics class, for example. And then we also operate all of our intramural sports here on campus, and so we have like a whole sports complex. And then we do a little bit of everything: recreational sports, all of our aquatics. We have student government as one of our programs. We have a huge variety of things, and we also have events that we put on.
You just said events. Let's hear, what kind of events does ASI do for their students?
So as you guys know, every Thursday there's a concert in the plaza. Last year we put on the largest fun run in Cal Poly's history, which was the Mustang Mile, which was to raise awareness for We're Awake Alive. And that was a huge success, and we hope to do something even bigger this year, more of a carnival-style homecoming event on October 19th. And so that's really exciting, and there's always events going on campus, but we definitely gather the biggest crowds for those concerts in the plaza.
That's awesome. I remember also going to movies. Do you guys host
yeah.
movies as well? I've been to several of the movies that they host in the plaza, and
Yeah.
there
Laser
was
tag,
free popcorn
yeah.
and hot dogs and cookies. It was really awesome.
Yeah, so since every student is a member of ASI, all of our events and everything you do is free through ASI, as long as it's not one of like the mandated programs. So things like the concerts are free. If you want to do laser tag, that's free. If you want to, all of these different things that you can do. Go to the rec center, that comes with your, I guess you would call it, annual membership in ASI.
So how can a student get involved and get in the leadership position in ASI?
So we have a lot of different ways. For the two of us, we got involved in student government, and that was kind of like our niche. And so we have 3 branches of student government. 2 of them you get appointed to, and then 1 of them you can get elected to. So that one is the board of directors. So you can do all of that in the spring. And so you work for the whole year. You get elected in the spring, so you have the whole next year after that to kind of serve the students. But there are also a number of other ways you can get involved. You can get a job on campus. We have almost 600 jobs that students can hold. You can go to the rec center. You can be in a club. All of those ways are kind of being involved with ASI.
So as an incoming freshman or transfer student and maybe having the hopes of having one of those higher leadership positions, how could they get involved right when they get to school?
My first piece of advice would be to go to all the facilities and try to take advantage of all the events and services that ASI offers, whether it's the craft sale or the classes at the craft center, Poly Escapes, rent some equipment and go on a trip with your friends. And now they're renting paddle boards and all the things in the UU. There's so many hidden things that even as a fourth year, we continue to see students trying for the first time. And it's so exciting because there's like endless possibilities. Go to the sports complex, and now the new rec center is open, so there's over 60 classes a week and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
get involved and find where you belong, and then take it to the next step.
And then within student government, we have one group called executive staff. That's kind of the volunteer group, and so they work with the other full-time members of student government to kind of find their niche. They get to learn more about the organization, see where they would fit best. And then we're also setting up a mentorship program. So freshmen can come in and they can get linked with one of us or something, and we can hopefully mentor them and help them find their place in the future.
We actually have Jim in the chat right now, and he would like to know, is there any fee associated with ASI, and how would he go about finding a job through ASI?
Okay, so I'll go about finding a job. Depending on where he's interested in working, there's the UU, where you can work as a facility supervisor. You can work in the craft center, in Poly Escapes, in the gym. There's tons of opportunities as a lifeguard, a referee. Our website offers all kinds of information, and there's all kinds of jobs from lots of time to just a couple hours a week, so definitely check it out.
And then as far as the fee, so that's actually included in your tuition here at Cal Poly. So that's why every single student is a member, because we do represent all students when we provide services for all of them. So you automatically pay for your tuition.
Great. And I have a question. Just the average student, if they don't necessarily want to get a job or get involved, what role does that average student, like Caitlin, well, we're not, let's face it, we're above that. But what role can average students play in ASI that don't want to necessarily get involved in the high levels?
Well, I think Haley touched on it, like using the facilities and taking advantage of all of the things. Like maybe you want to take a surfboard shaping class at some point. That's being involved in ASI without really having to commit all of your time and still being able to be as awesome as you guys are. There are other ways. All of the clubs are actually registered through ASI, and we can provide them with funding for either getting started or putting on events or anything like that. So you can start a club, and that's one way to get involved, or you can join one that's already around. There are so many different ways.
And another thing is we're always looking for input, and so you're helping ASI just by telling us, hey, I'm really not using the Chase. I'd really like it to be another bank, or giving us feedback, because we're always trying to become the best organization and be the most support for all the students on campus. So just giving feedback to our already existing programs or something you would like to see in the future. We're always welcoming suggestions and feedback.
So, what is something that parents should know about ASI? For example, can they use the rec center when they come visit their students?
Yeah, they can actually get a guest pass, and we really encourage that. Or anyone can come and get a tour anytime. But I think once you get a tour, you're going to want the guest pass. So I just start there. So they can come and use that. And then I would say they should encourage their students to get involved and try it out too. I really believe that everyone has a niche somewhere within ASI. So parents can totally encourage their kids to find their place and find what is going to make their college experience even better.
I like what you said earlier about how ASI is trying to give students the ultimate college experience, and that's through all these exciting, fun events. And I remember Friday Night Live, is that through ASI? Friday Night Live gives a lot of free events on campus. Is that through ASI?
Friday Night Live is not through ASI. We provide them with a little bit of funding, but they're an amazing club that does a lot of work both on campus and in the community. So we've worked with them a little bit in the past. We hosted an event last year called the Mustang Mile. Haley talked about that, and that was a fun run. It was the biggest one we've ever done on campus. So we got to work with them, and they helped us plan it and include Aware Awake Alive and all that stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Jim in the chat, actually going back to the rec center, wants to know how much a guest pass is to get into the rec center.
$5 for an entire day.
Okay. So that's
Pretty good for a beautiful facility like that.
Yeah, and for freshmen who don't know, we just opened that up in January. It is, I can't say enough good things about it. It's so cool.
Would it be fair to say that incoming students are fairly spoiled to get a beautiful rec center
Oh,
like that? Especially since, I don't know, we didn't really have a rec center for most of our time here, right?
Exactly. And it makes us not want to graduate. Just
Yeah,
stick
right.
around and
And you mentioned one of the most popular events, and that's the concerts in the plaza every Thursday at 11. What are some of the biggest bands that have come to perform here, or most popular?
We had Ingrid Michaelson was huge. We
Tons
had
of reggae and
Yeah.
rap. It's not a genre that I personally listen to, but there's
It is so
hundreds
good.
of students in the plaza
Yeah.
listening to it.
we had Zion I and the Grouch, and that got over 3,000 students out in the plaza. And it's at 11 o'clock every Thursday, so that's our university hour. And so that's the hour where you're not supposed to have classes. So we try to make it so that as many students can make it as possible. And it's awesome.
So, Katie, what exactly do you do for the student body as ASI president?
It's kind of an interesting job that's hard to explain just because it changes every day. So my main role is just to represent the students. So whenever there's kind of a question being thrown around, like how do the students feel about this, different administrators and staff members come to me. I also work with the community to make sure that we're being the best Mustangs we can be out in the community, and we have a good reputation around town and everything like that. I get to welcome the freshmen. I get to speak on their behalf and meet them. So it really changes. It changes day to day, just depending on what comes up.
You've also been working on something called the Mustang Way, which I'm very excited about. I'm holding on my wrist the Mustang Way bracelet, which is basically just, how would you explain the Mustang Way in a short sentence? I know you do like a lot of talk about it, but
Yeah. Oh, I love talk. I can't get enough talk about it. I usually describe it as like a defining statement that tells the rest of the world who we are as Mustangs. So I feel like we have this amazing culture here at Cal Poly, and we have this sense of what that means to be a Mustang. So the Mustang Way just sets out to define that. There are 3 core principles. It's pride, responsibility, and character. So those are the 3 defining principles, and then we also have some supporting statements. So students will definitely look forward to that next year. The homecoming event that Haley mentioned is actually centered around, celebrating that and showing students what we're all about and celebrating the Mustang Way. So we're very excited about that. I'm glad you asked.
yeah.
You'll definitely want to rep one of these wristbands when you
That's
get to Cal Poly.
Definitely.
Well, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to commercial now, but thank you for joining us. It's been really great to have you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So now enjoy a library commercial, and before that, we'd like to thank our audience, Jim N., Shannon, Daniel, Ian, Karina, Katie Johnson, Tom H., Will Medford, me, Kiana, Crystal, and
And my nose is bleeding.
Special
We'll see you after the break.
There have been a lot of changes to the library over the summer. We've been working hard to roll out a number of things. One thing that students ask for is more electrical outlets. And we've done a pretty good job, I think, on the first and second floors. And we're going to be rolling out an additional 1,100 outlets, pretty much doubling the capacity of the electrical outlets in the library. The feedback that we got from students was that there wasn't enough color in the library, so we made a concerted effort to try and introduce some color into the atrium. We have implemented a new product called Sign Up in the PolyConnect lab. This allows students to sign up for the first available computer in that space. We've also gone through the study rooms on each of the floors of the library and remodeled them. We've removed blackboards and installed whiteboards, and we put in 46-inch flat panel displays for students to work collaboratively. I think the favorite thing that we've done is actually rolling out a mobile interface for the library. What students think really matters to us, and we really take to heart the "you asked and we listen" concept.
Welcome back from our break, everyone. You just saw a video on the Robert E. Kennedy Library, which will come in handy when you get here in the fall. So we have Nona Nickelson from Cal Poly's parent program here with us today, as well as Alberto Alberti, a Cal Poly parent of SEMO, who's actually on our crew here at Poly Live. And you are from Italy.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
yeah. So we'll go ahead and ask you a couple questions, Alberto, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So how do you support your student transition to college?
Yeah. When we bring Simone here at the beginning of the year, I remember that when we pass a couple of days in San Francisco, and then we bring a motorhome to stay here, and our schedule was to stay here some days, 1 week to support him to begin in the school. But when he started the WOW program, we saw that we never see him. We meet only one time when he was in Avila. We was on the beach. I see some students arrive to make ocean canoe. Only this time we see him. So after 3 days, we decided to go away around California.
Because WOW stole your son.
Was so good, and so we understand that he was involved very well on the program, and he started to know people and other students very well, and was very happy to begin in this. We think that it was not necessary to stay a long time here.
Great, thank you.
So what are some things that you do that SEMO likes when you're all the way in Italy?
Yes, well, we started to make phone call and video conference. Also, my wife learned to make a video conference, video chat. And then I think very important thing is to send money.
Sending money is
Yes, the money to pay school, to pay everything. Also, when we make a chat, it's important to calculate the time because we are 9-hour difference.
Yeah.
So don't wake up him. Maybe sometime they phone us in the late of the night. What happened?
Yeah.
But it was okay.
Great.
And he's very busy as mechanical engineering, aerospace, what else? Physics?
Yeah.
So he's very busy, so it's kind of, you need to make sure that you're on the same schedule because you're so far away.
Yes, sometimes we talk about the program because I also am in engineering, so I can understand what they have to do. So we discuss it. I tried to support him in the beginning because after it's a long time that I was student, a lot of things was changed, and he go on very well, and so I'm happy to do that.
That's so great. Thank
Sounds
you
like
for
it's
being
going really
here.
well. Thanks for showing up. So Nona, what is the Cal Poly Parent Program?
Well, the parent program is an office that works to inform parents and supporters of resources that they can use to help support their student success through the transition in the first year and throughout all 4 years, frankly, here at Cal Poly. So we're here to engage parents like Alberto and other parents across the state and the nation, and just to be there to answer questions and help them with concerns. We also help them with ways to effectively support their student success because college is a transition and students are exerting a little bit more independence than maybe they might have in high school. So we help parents with that change. And we also provide ways for parents to be involved in the life of the university.
That's great. Now, how does a parent connect with the parent program? Or get
There's
involved
several
in that?
ways. We have a helpline parents can call, and we also have an email address they can write to. So my coworker Jessica answers the phone, I answer email. Parents can visit our website, parent.calpoly.edu. We have a number of resources there. And then there's a number of ways that we reach out to parents through an e-newsletter that parents need to sign up for on our website. That goes out quarterly. And through a Facebook page, which is very popular. That's called Cal Poly Parents. Facebook page is great because that connects parent to parent. So, you know, staff, Jessica and I can give staff perspectives on a particular question or concern, but on our Facebook page we have parents who can provide the parent perspective on different things.
So you named communication as a major benefit to being a member of the
Right.
parent program, but maybe what are some other benefits of being involved?
Well, we provide times for parents to come back and support their students. We were planning a parents weekend for this fall. We have a lot of parents who may not at first feel like they would use the parent program, but then later realize, oh, my student's struggling academically, how can I support them? And we usually direct them back to campus resources their students can use. So we're here for any question or concern, large or small.
That's great. And you mentioned resources that the parent program is connected to, different resources on campus that really help towards student success. Can you name a couple of those resources?
Sure. We are part of the Division of Student Affairs, which is, housing, career services, ASI, some of the services you've heard about. Orientation is part of student affairs. And so we work closely with those staff. Many of them are advisors for clubs or advisors in particular programs like the housing RAs, orientation programs. We also work with academic advisors to connect parents and their students to resources. So we work with athletics to plan events. We work with faculty when there's a concern where a student needs to be connected and maybe kept from falling through the cracks.
We actually have a question from our audience, which I imagine is probably a pretty typical question on the Facebook page, and it's from My Nose is Bleeding. What do you recommend? I'm having trouble with it. What do you recommend students bring when they move away for their first year?
Well, there's a list actually on the University Housing website, and also the parents on the Facebook page have created a list of their own. So you can go to asi.calpoly.edu and check in on the move-in link, I think, and you'll get all of the information you need, what's restricted and what's allowed in the residence halls.
That's great.
And then the parents on the Facebook page have that list as well. It's on our discussion page actually, which is called the Cal Poly Parent Community Group. There's a files tab there, and in the files tab is where they can find that document, along with other documents that parents have created, like what kind of computer does my student need, or how can my student connect with their advisor, what hotels are the best to stay at in San Luis Obispo. This is parent-to-parent advice, so these are all the people that are in the know, so to speak.
What is maybe one or two of the best tips that you've heard from parents, from Cal Poly parents, for another incoming student's parents, if that makes sense?
We hear a lot of continuing parents or parents of continuing students, especially on Facebook, say, let your student grow. Let them experience college. Let them work through the transition. You've prepared them for this time in their life, and you'll be amazed how quickly they hit the ground running. And if they don't, encourage them to seek out help. A lot of our students come and they're at the top of their class and they're not used to asking for help. And so if they have a challenge or a problem, they get discouraged easily. But you all are the best and the brightest. And so we hear a lot of continuing parents tell other parents to encourage their students to ask for help when they need it, and find someone that they can connect with, another student, a faculty mentor, someone in orientation programs, an RA in the residence halls, another student. Students help each other through, as you know. You have all the answers by talking to other students. So yeah, those are some tips that I hear frequently.
Great, thank you. Jim in our audience wants to know, if he gets in trouble in his residence hall, is that something that the parent program deals with?
Not the parent program specifically, but University Housing has a system for dealing with, problems or concerns, disciplinary issues.
Does that include notifying his parents?
No, it does not, unless he wishes them to be notified. Students come here, they're 18 now, they're adults, even though they might not feel like or act like we might expect them. And so the good thing about Cal Poly is all of our departments take what we call a student development approach. So if there's a problem in the residence halls and you get in trouble and you're a student, usually the RA is called in and talks with you about it. Sometimes the CSD is brought in, that's the staff person in the halls. And if necessary, other staff are brought in. But we really try to take a developmental approach, not just in housing, but across campus, to help students learn the ropes and transition. And sure, if you want your parents to be notified, then you can sign a release to do that. But we don't generally do that. We expect the students to take responsibility for their successes and their challenges. And this is a learning time, so, you know, if they get in trouble, usually it can be worked out. Nothing to be too afraid of unless you do something real serious.
Yeah. I used to be an RA actually in one of the halls, and
Mhm.
so there's different judicial sanctions, but parents aren't notified unless it's really, really, really serious.
Right,
so.
right. It's really not the parent's problem, and you know, it's best to make mistakes now. Not that I'm encouraging mistakes, but it's best to make mistakes now because you learn from them. And if the parents step in and try to fix those things, as eager as you are to, you know, support your student, then the students don't always learn from their mistakes. And we want that to happen because we don't want them to graduate and make serious mistakes when it can really affect a career or a relationship in life or something like that.
Let's go back to something that you mentioned just a little while ago about the Parents' Weekend. What else can you say about the Parents' Weekend, and when exactly is that?
Parents' Weekend is a great time to come back and visit. It's scheduled for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks out after the start of school, October 12th and 13th. That's a Friday and Saturday. We're offering programs hosted by the academic departments. You know, so if your student's a construction management major, we have something planned for them. Liberal Arts is planning a program. I think Arrow is planning a rocket launch competition. And then we also have a tailgate barbecue hosted by Cal Poly Athletics. We're playing, I think, Northern Colorado in the football game on Saturday. We have a music department event called the Parents' Weekend Ensemble Showcase Concert. And we're going to have a UU hour this year, which is something new. And that's, you know, what students do every Thursday at 11 a.m. So we want the parents to experience that. We'll probably have the Cal Poly Farm Market out there and maybe some prizes. So a lot to do on Parents' Weekend. And there is free time to spend with their students. So we don't jam pack it quite as much as orientation because we know that at this point parents want to make a Costco run or go out to dinner.
Great.
Or, you know, shopping.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Mom, you are cordially invited.
Yeah.
And Dad.
Now I've heard there's a parent newsletter that parents can get a hold of. How can they receive that?
They do need to sign up for that, and they can do that on our website, parent.calpoly.edu. And that provides a quarterly newsletter and as well as a newsletter from Cal Poly Public Affairs with University News. So they'll get something monthly from Cal Poly and quarterly from us. And our news is focused on student development, success, reminders about fees, events. And the newsletters are great because they're conversation starters. So if you're not sure what to talk about with your student when you call your student or when they call home, we can provide some tips there. And once in a while, the administration likes to send information out to parents. So President Armstrong really encourages parent involvement, and he sent a message, I think last year, about our student success fee, and then just a few months ago he sent a message out to parents about Cal Poly's reaccreditation. So we've been accredited for another 10 years, which is the maximum time frame. So if they sign up for that, they'll get quite a bit of information, including news from our president.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on our show.
Yeah, thank you, Alberto and
Thank you.
and Nona. So we are gonna go on to a commercial about career services, and we'll see you in just a second.
Before we go, we have a question from Jim about studying in the library. Is it a good place to study? Yes.
Yes,
It's a
it
great
is.
place to
Best
study.
study spot on campus.
Yeah, it's voted the best study spot on campus. I'm there basically every day.
Every floor you go up, it gets quieter and quieter. So the 5th floor, if you make a sound, you'll get dirty looks. No, I'm just kidding. But it's really quiet up there.
Yeah,
I like the coffee shop on the 2nd floor. It's a
coffee
great
shop on the
place
2nd
to-
floor.
And they have study rooms where it's usually jam-packed with study groups. kind
There's
of
also
thing.
24-hour study rooms and 24-hour quiet study rooms and a 24-hour computer lab. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to
It's
do
awesome.
there. There's a lot to do there.
Anyways, type in your questions, anything, ask us. and we'll see you after the break.
The mission of Career Services at Cal Poly is to engage with each student in every aspect of career development. We have all kinds of testing, which is really cool for students who are ambivalent about their major or who don't really know what they want to do, who have no idea. You can come in, you can have an individual appointment with your career counselor. We will give you the STRONG, the Myers-Briggs type indicator. We have a system called Focus. We do Strengths Quest. We have all different assessments to help you learn as much about yourself and to make those decisions as quickly as possible. I think that new students and students in general don't realize how results-oriented we are. Now, we don't have magic wands and crystal balls, but we do have a lot of strategies and a lot of techniques that are very successful with students. We will help you network. We will help connect you to industries and opportunities as best as we possibly can, and we have a huge success rate.
Great, so that was a commercial highlighting our career services, and I've actually used career services. I came in as a different major than I am currently, and they helped me kind of feel out what I was more passionate about, and therefore I could really look towards the future and be a happy Scot, and that's where I am right now.
Wait, what major are you in?
I'm anthropology and geography, which is definitely the right choice for me.
Yeah, I've actually gone to career services and gone to some of their resume workshops to help me build my resume for all the jobs that I wanted to apply for, so it was really, really cool.
They do all kinds of stuff there. It's great.
So we wanted to give a shout out to the Poly Plant Shop for donating these lovely flowers that you see on our set today, and give a shout out to the artist that painted the pictures that you saw today in the background, and that's Jenny Michaelfelder. And so, yeah, thank you for donating the plants and the paintings. Our next Poly Live will be Tuesday, August 21st at 5 o'clock p.m. Same time, same station, right here at Dexter. And University Police Department will be on our show, and hopefully Library Services will be on to answer Karina's question about available jobs that you can get in the library.
So in the meantime, if you watch this on the archive and you thought, I really have a question and I want to ask them right now, you still can. Orientation@calpoly.edu. Feel free to email us with any kind of questions you have. Also, you can visit our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/CP/SlowPolyLive. So go ahead and like us on that, and you can post any questions and we will answer them on the spot or at our next show. So today, just to kind of wrap it up, we met with Katie Morrow and Haley Houle, and we talked about ASI and what they do for ASI and everything that they do for their students, which is just a lot of fun.
Great events. We also talked to Nona Nickelson and Alberto Alberti. Nona was from the parent program, and Alberto is just a Cal Poly parent that got to tell us a little bit about his experiences of being a Cal Poly parent. So we really hope you enjoyed our show.
Yeah, until next time, I'm Scott.
I'm Caitlin.
And we'll see you soon.
Peace.